Alright, if you're a Poshmark seller and you're trying to make more sales, you might want to pay attention because I'm going to share with you the offer to likers strategy that I've been using and I feel like has been working really well for me. I'm going to share exactly how to do it. It's just a 3-step plan. It's going to make it easier for you to send out good offers, but also make as much profit as possible on those offers. So I want to say that I looked at my Posh stats right before filming this video and 75% or more of my sales have been from offers. Now, Poshmark doesn't really differentiate offer to likers versus offers that people sent to me. I don't see anywhere where I can filter it to see the percentage of just offers to likers, but knowing that over 75% of my sales come from offers in general is a really good piece of information and a piece of the puzzle to understand kind of how people are buying things from me and to kind of encourage me to continue to make those offers because I have a better chance of making sales that way. First, here's how I used to send offers. I just grab my phone a couple times a day, I'd check my Poshmark app, and I'd see if people liked my items, and I would just go through and send offers on those items that people had liked over the last day or so, or a couple of hours, or whenever it was the last time that I checked. Generally, these would be 10 or 20% off offers, and I would do this a couple times a day or maybe once a day, and then once in a while I would go through and send out bigger offers to items that I wanted to sell faster because they'd been sitting a while, I was just tired of looking at it, or for whatever reason, then I'd go and send like 30 or 40% off offers on those items. The reason this isn't the greatest strategy is because, let's say I'm sending out 10% off offers to people who like my items. If suddenly I'm like, oh, I really want to sell this item, I'm just going to send out a 40% off offer and try and move it. There's a pretty big gap between 10% and 40%, and any of those likers may have purchased it at 20 or 30% off. So instead of just jumping to the highest offer like a couple of months later, it's a good idea to give your buyers a chance to buy these items without as big of a discount before you discount it even more. So you just want to kind of give them gradual discounts, and this strategy is just going to make it a little bit easier to keep track of that. So the strategy I've been using lately is called the waterfall strategy. I don't know who coined that term. I've been doing it for a while and then I've heard of it a couple of times from other resellers and they called it the waterfall strategy, and that totally makes sense. If you're generally just sending out 10 or 20% off offers and you're never giving a discount beyond that, then this might not be helpful to you. But if you are someone who resells at maybe a higher capacity and you do set out bigger offers occasionally, this is a good way to kind of get those offers out, but also try and maximize the profit you're making. Okay, before I explain, you do need to have likes on your items in order to use this strategy. You can't send offers to likers if you don't have any likers. So sharing your items is really key. And it's the perfect time for me to introduce today's sponsor, Posh Sidekick. It's the app I use on my phone to basically share my items all day. Actually, let me look and see how many times it's shared my items today. It has shared 3,000 times for me today. That includes self-shares, community shares, party shares, and returned shares. And this does it all automatically in the background. It's literally just constantly sharing my items. So I use Posh Sidekick to share my items automatically all day throughout the day, and also to send offers to anybody who likes my item. Within 5 minutes, they get a 10% off offer, because you kind of want to catch people while they're already thinking about your item instead of a day or two later when they have either moved on from wanting to buy that item or they've purchase something else. So Posh Sidekick really is a big part of this strategy for me. You could do all of this manually, but it does make it a lot easier to get lots of likes on my items because I'm constantly sharing, and get those offers to likers out within 5 minutes. That way I don't have to go and do that manually throughout the day. If you want to check out Posh Sidekick, you can click the link below and enter the code Hustle and Slow when you sign up, or you can find it in either of the app stores. Again, the code Hustle and Slow when you sign up will get you a discount. All right, so basically the first step is to constantly share your items. Share your items a lot so you can have lots of likes. So that is step number 1. Step number 2 is sending an offer pretty quickly after they like the item. If you're doing it manually, you can just do it. Go ahead and check your likes throughout the day. Send out offers to anything that has been liked that day. A 10% offer usually works well for me. You could do 15 or 20 if you feel like you want to, but 10 works for me. And then 2 or 3 times a week, I send out waterfall offers. So basically what that is you send out tiered discounts. So what I usually do is 20% off, and then 30% off, and then 40% off, and then sometimes even 50% off depending on the item. And what that does is the people who have liked your item and got a 10% off offer will get a 20% off offer. But if someone had already liked your item before and got a 10 and a 20% off offer, then they'll get the 30% off offer. So it's really important to do it in that order. You're sending out the 20% off offer first so that anybody who hasn't gotten a 20% off offer will get that. And then you do the 30% off, and anybody who has already got the 10 or 20% off will get the 30. And this is a good way to do this because you are able to kind of maximize how much you're going to make on each item. You're not just automatically jumping to 30 or 40%, because if your buyer was willing to buy it at like 20% and you just send them a 30 or 40% off offer, then you're gonna miss out on some profit. So I do this twice a week. I actually have a little post-it note on my desk because I do cross-list my items. I do eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and I am trying out Depop right now. So I have a little post-it to tell me what days I'm sending out offers for, because like, for example, I don't wanna send out offers to eBay and Poshmark on the same day because I don't want that item to sell on one platform and then be stuck with offers on the other one and make it difficult for me to cancel those offers and delete that item. So I usually send out my Poshmark waterfall offers on Wednesday and on the weekend. It's easy for me to remember because it's waterfall Wednesday, and then on weekends I also send another offer. I just have this little sticky note on my desk. Some days I don't make it or I forget, but I do have the schedule so that if I forget, then I'll just do it next week. So I have Mercari on Monday, eBay on Tuesday, Poshmark on Wednesday, Mercari on Thursday, eBay on Friday, and then Poshmark on the weekend. So I send out waterfall offers twice a week. Now you can decide what percentages you want to do. Maybe you only want to do 10% what people like and then 20% and 30%, or maybe you want to do even higher than that. Generally what I do is I will send 10 and 20% to all of my items because most of my items have enough of a profit margin that I can take 10 or 20% off without it being too big of a deal. When it comes to 30 or 40 or 50% items, I will manually go in and select the items that have either been sitting for a while or they were bad buys, just the items that I want to offer a steeper discount on for whatever reason. I won't do it for all of my items every single time. The reason this is going to help you is because, like I said, most of my sales come from offers. And if you're regularly sending offers, this will kind of keep you organized. This will make sure you're sending out gradually increasing discounts to each buyer, so you're not jumping from like 10% to 40%. And you're giving the buyer a chance to buy it at a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less until they're enticed enough to buy it. Because it just depends on the buyer and what it's worth to them. Some people will buy your item at 40% off, but some people will buy it at 20% off, and it just depends. Obviously, if you can sell it to them at 20% off, you want to do that so you can make the most profit possible. So I want to hear, do you have an offer strategy? Have you tried this waterfall strategy? This is something I've been doing probably since around the beginning of the year, and I really just like the way it works. I like being able to send out these offers, and I like just having a kind of a schedule and like a method or a strategy to sending out offers so that I'm not just doing it based on how I feel that day. It just makes it so I'm treating my business more like a business than just kind of like sending out offers all willy-nilly. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to hear more about reselling and making money from home, and I will see you next time. Bye.